Hello everyone. So in our last class we discussed about the pandas important functions. We talked about series data frame and some of the important functions that we regularly use. So today I'm going to walk you through with a very small project so that you guys can apply whatever you learned so far. So just to start with, let me showcase you the data set which we are going to utilize. So that is a lungs capacity data. I have already created some questions so that uh, we keep focusing to answer those questions, right? So this is a data set where we do have multiple basically columns: the lung capacity, age, years, height, smoke, whether the person smokes or not, and the gender, and the cesarean. So we are going to import this data set first. That is the first priority, and you know how to import the data set. So first, to import the data set, we just need to import the required libraries. So import pandas is pd. Uh, that's the one. Although you don't require numpy, but we can import numpy as well. Import numpy as NP. Perfect. So the very first question is import the data set into Jupyter Notebook. I believe you all are aware of it. We discussed that in our last class, that how to import external data. So that is the external data that we want to import, and if you hover it out, it's a CSV file. So to do that, what we have to write first, the name of the data frame that you want to have. I have given DF, although it's not a fixed name. Then PD dot read underscore CSV is a function, small parenthesis, either in single quotes or in double quotes. We have to give the path of that data set. That's it, data set. So you can simply copy it from there and you paste it here, forward slash the name of the data set. What is the name of data set? Let me quickly check. It's lung capacity, where L and C both are in caps. Let me write it. Here it is, dot CSV, because that's a CSV file. So let me run it. It will give us a Unicode error. Okay, let me check it. Yes, and I believe you all remember that how to solve it. Simply add R to this and you are good to go. Let me call my data frame here. I have simply imported, and here is my data frame. You can check it out here that we have imported the data frame. Let me explain once again that how we imported it. First, we imported the required libraries, the pandas and numpy, and then to import that particular data set, first we have to write a function to import this, which is pd.read underscore CSV. Then in single or double quotes, I have to give the path of that data that is available in my system location. So I have copied that path from there. Here it is, and paste it out there, and forward slash the name of the file which I want to pick from that location with the extension, which is CSV. So all were the backslashes, so that's why it was giving the Unicode error. Either you convert those backslashes as forward one, or you can add simply R to this. So this is how we can import the dataset to the Jupyter Notebook. I believe it's clear to all. So it's visible here. Now let's move ahead to the next question. Check the first 5 rows of the data set. So do you remember the function head, which is to display the top 5 rows? So the DFS, the data frame, and then in, you can simply call head, and you see that we have displayed top 5 rows of the data set, which starts from 0 index and goes till 4. So we're done with this now. Now the next part is check the last 5 rows of the data set. So to do this, we have a tail function. Just to give you the brief about that head and tail are two quite handy function that we use to get the first and last row of first 5 and last 5 rows of the data set. So you can simply type tail and you run it. Here it goes. These are the bottom 5 rows. In case you need the mid any range, so you can simply let me insert a cell here and let me create a new question. For example, let me copy it here. Let's say display row number 20 to 20 let's say 35 example. That's a question. So let me give it a heading. Let me run it simply. So do you remember how to do this thing? We can simply use df square brackets. We need from 220 till 35. So last range is excluded. We have to mention 36. So here it is. You see that it starts from 20 and goes till 35. That's it. So we can get any mid range of the data set as well. So you can get the first five, the bottom five, and any mid range of any mid row number of rows from that data set, right? Now, the next thing is check the information of the data set. So I conveyed you one function info, which is that basically is to give the overview on the about your data set, the basic information. So we can simply call that function here. And here it is. So what it gives as an output, it let you know that it's a pandas data frame, and it do have total 725 entries, which starts from 0 goes till 724. The total number of columns are 6. These are the name of those columns and with the data type and the memory that this particular data frame has utilized. So this is the whole a bit information that you may get, and that's a function that we always use whenever we import it or start working on any data set, right? So here it is. Now let's say check the description of the data. So first we need to check, description is basically to give you the statistic summary of your data set. Let me run this so that you may get the idea. Here it is, and by default it includes only numeric values. If it is required to use all, then you can use include underscore all as well. Let me write that code here for you. So which is df dot describe, it's a function, and you can use include dot equals to all in quotes, right? So by default, let me explain you what describe function does. It's give you the statistic summary of for all the numeric columns that we do have in that data set. And if you notice that three numeric columns only, this is the data set, this one is the numeric, this one, and these three are non-numeric columns. So it has given you the output into the describe, the lung capacity, age, and height. So first is the count, basically the total number of records count for each and every column. Then the average, which is mean, and the standard deviation. A standard deviation basically that how your data is deviated. So I'll be giving you the detailed description of a standard deviation once we'll start learning statistics. Then the min is basically the minimum value for each and every column. And then we have lower quartile, which is 25 percentile, and the median, which is 50 percentile, and the upper quartile, which is 75 percentile. I'll be talking in detail about these, that how it works. So then we have max. So these are the summary that we can, that's a quite handy function. Just a few, the single line of code, you can get the entire information of your data set. Here it is. Now I believe it's clear to you now. Now let's move to the next question, which is check the name of the column in the data set. So you know that how to check the name of the columns in any data set. So first, data set or data frame, whatever you call it. So first we need to give the name of the data frame, which is df here. So df, and then to check the columns, there are multiple options to do it. Either you can simply write columns and it will give you the output for all the columns. Let me explain you all the different methods. Option 1 is to using this, and then just a part of display, you can convert it into a list as well. So outside df dot columns, you can use a list function, so it will give you the output in this way. So this is just a part of representation. And apart from this, we can use a for loop too to get those like this. For example, for I in df dot columns, and we have print I is not a fixed keyword. You see that we have extracted loop out all the columns that we do have. So that's a list. So you can use any of the option. Now let's move to the next question, which is check the number of males and the number of females under the gender column in the data set. So here, if we need to, basically, we are talking about a gender column. Basically, under that, we have two unique records. One is the female, one is the male. So we just want to check, basically, group our data based on the unique records that we do have under gender column. So to do this, we required grouping of the data. To do that, we have a group by function, although we can do it other way as well. But let me introduce a group by function, how you want to group it based on the gender column. So let me check how gender is written here, because Python is case sensitive, so you better to copy and paste the name of columns. So here it is. All right. So we can simply pass that to group by function, right? And then if you see the output, basically we have to give that into quotes. Yeah, I forgot to apply, right? So that group by grouping has been done, but grouping based on what? I just need a size of that, let's say, or the count of that, whatever you want to do. So basically what it has written, it has grouped the gender column based on the unique records, and it has given you the output as the total number of values under each and every category. There are multiple way to do it. I have used one. You try it another way as well, right? So this is how we have grouped the data set, and these are the males and females that we have find out under this gender column. You can apply this to any other column as well. Let me give you the idea. Basically, if in case you want to check the smoke and non-smokers, let's say for you want to group based on the smoke, so you can do that as well, right? So that this is one of the, although I'll be taking a detailed class on group by most probably in coming sessions. So that is to do with, and next is check for missing values in the data set in case we need to check the missing records. So you remember that we have as null. It will give you the output as true and false. And to get that particular value, we can apply some function. So we can check that whether how many missing records we have correspondence to each and every column. So we can see that there is no missing record for any of the column. There another way to do it, another way to check missing. First, df dot is null. That's the function to check the missing records. Then we have dot values, and any you can apply. So it will give you the output as true and false. So basically, what it does, it will give you the output true if there is any missing record. If there is no missing record, it will give you output as false. So that's one of the option. Apart from this, there are other options too. I have used there are multiple approach to solve a particular question. So you try it this way, and this is the data set. You try to apply some more functions that we covered